Good job. Basically just having a guitar practice. It's a glorified guitar practice. This was about to fall off. It's a good job I checked that, isn't it? Just got to do these little checks. That was about to fall off and go. Hello. Oh, I'm glad you like the new album. Thank you very much. You can see the guitar there, can't you? That'll do. So, yeah, last live stream for a little while, probably September. It's going to be the end of my sort of school term time for music teaching. And I've got a lot of fun stuff happening. Quite busy over the summer. I'll probably do some Monday night band practices instead as well. So, last live stream for a little while, I'm going to be practicing the set. Little set practice, glorified guitar practice. Hello. I've not been particularly consistent recently, just been really busy, just so much going on. But as I always say, well, I've been saying a lot recently, whilst I'm very busy, it's all really good stuff. So it's all good. Yeah, I think I'll be back in September. Fingers crossed. I never like to commit to these things. I'll get to September and be like, I'm so busy. But probably September, to be honest. A little break over the summer. So I think I did this before, but I did it for a year. It's almost certainly not going to be for a year. But I had like a year off just for working on another album because I just couldn't. I had to do drums and guitars and everything. Oh, Bristol was great fun. Yeah, Bristol was really good. But anyway, folks, I will probably do a bit of chatting. I'm just going to run some songs. And then I'll stick around for a little bit of chatting afterwards. All right, does that sound good to you? Feel free to tip the busker. The link's in the description. If you've not heard of the Witch Hazel fan club, you've probably been living under a rock, but the link is the same as the tip link. Appreciate anything. Oh, hello, Sezzy. How are you doing? The honourable member, Sezzy. Nice to see some fan club members here. I'm just going to play some guitar now. Awesome. Tune up really, shouldn't I? Yes, Texas next year, gosh. Thanks a lot, Susie. Guitar's not working. Now it is.
Are you afraid of the fire? Are you afraid of the Holy Spirit? Are you afraid of the fire? Are you afraid of the fire? Are you afraid of the fire? Are you afraid of the
stable as possible, says he. Gonna put on a good show. That one quite a lot. Got a lot of slaves of righteousness. Can't talk and play guitar. Clearly. But anyway, get the idea. That's why I'm practicing. I do like to put on like a nice set though, like so we all know what we're doing. Solos. The hardest one's Spirit and Fire solo. That's the hardest one. And then maybe We'll Be Strong in the midsection. Yeah, like that bit of We'll Be Strong. That bit tricky. Or just to get the frets right. Yeah, that bit in it's a bit tricky in Spirit and Fire. to the demo on this bit. Oh yeah. I want me other guitar. Should have brought it. Lots of do-do-do-do-do, that sort of thing. Gotta relax. Join the fan club. Yeah. sorting that note out. Yeah, I took that note out because I can never reach it. That was an overdub in the studio. Alternative lyrics on that song there. Comments. There's lots of ideas. Just waiting on a few people at the moment. Thanks a lot, Tim. I'd have to think about the simplest one. Thanks very much. Yeah, it's a bit of a conscious decision. I'm not sure whether are we getting more and more famous. I'm not sure. I think we're gaining steadily more in popularity. Not sure about radio play. Thanks a lot, man. I remember very steady cut. I can't think of it while this is on. Amazing, dear. Thank you. Thank you very much, folks. You're all being very nice, aren't you? It's nice to hear. Very positive vibes tonight. song. It's like, is it the bridge? How many times I've played that song and still messing it up. I get tired, my old age. I started with that, I do a good job. That's definitely a hard bit. That's tricky, that. It's another difficult part. You're all at home going, oi, 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 oi. Oh yeah, it's good bass on this, isn't it? He would have killed me. We're just playing with you. Don't do that. Our drummer's saying nothing. Well, there you go. That's the set, folks. Practice. I'm going to sit down now, I think. Otherwise, I'm going to turn into a noodle fest. No one wants a noodle fest. I mean, maybe you do, but I don't think. Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. The fatigue's hitting, folks, already. Is that even going to balance? I don't know. Find out. There you go. Oof. I haven't got my laptop, so I'm just going to look at the screen weirdly. Strong fart, yeah. That's permanently on the set list now. Oh dear. Toe tapping here, rock out responsibly. There you go. See, I tried to respond to your comments while it's playing. It was a bit hit and miss at times, but yeah. It's alright. There you go. Thanks very much, folks. Open to tips if you're so inclined. No pressure. Oof. And join the fan club if you haven't joined it already. I can see there's a good few fan club members here present. But yeah, we have a fan club. It's a good way to support the band. Lots of extra benefits. I'm going to list the benefits of, just get this out of the way. This is my sales pitch. You get like all the albums for free apart from the latest one. Bandcamp download for free. You get free pin badge with free postage. You get access to exclusive merchandise. You get all the albums, including the latest one, in demo formats. All the full demo albums. I'm sure there's other stuff you get. I think you get, yeah, even like the back, the surrender and everything. There's loads of freebies. There's a chat room. Yeah, exclusive fan club stuff, and then exclusive t-shirt designs and everything. There's loads of stuff. So if you haven't checked it out, have a look. It's in the description of this video. Whatever this is, live stream video. But there you go. Oh, I feel like Which Age Look do a great cover of the Colouring song by Petra. I can't really remember what that one goes like. What were my impressions after Bristol? I sort of missed that comment. Yeah, Bristol was great fun. Very sweaty, but it was good fun. I could have done with some fold back. We only found out after the show that Aaron had the fold back speaker, which I could have done with. But anyway, it's done now, isn't it? But yeah, because I blew a few notes at the top of my range. Not quite as bad as London, but I blew some notes early on in the set. Because just when I can't hear myself, I over-sing, and I can't help it. When I hear myself, I can just warm into it nicely. And I did warm-ups and did all the honey and everything beforehand, but there you go. But Bristol was great, fabulous, and thanks to Aaron for driving us there and back. It's good fun. Thanks for coming out, folks. Buying tickets and buying merch. I was surprised that there was like 50 people, 50 tickets for the show, and then we did surprisingly well on merchandise for that small number of people, so that was great as well. So it's great, people just supporting the band, it's awesome. We love it. Oh yeah, there's an interview where I mentioned, yeah, there was, I wrote a full solo album. It's like a Christian worship album, contemporary thing. It's well, sort of contemporary, for me, contemporary. But that's on the back burner. I haven't even listened to those songs for a long time. Just too busy. I've had the, you know, I just have to say no to certain things, at least for now. Definitely, it'll get released one day, but it's just, I'm gonna have to just be more patient with it. I sometimes think about it and it's a bit frustrating that I can't just sit and finish it, but I've got like the Bloodstock gig. We had our acoustic set to rehearse for a couple of shows this year, including Saturday's acoustic show. Our main set, because we want to make sure a really good Bloodstock set, which is 40 minutes, and then we want to make sure we do a really good hour set, which is like, I've got a gig the day after Bloodstock, which is an hour, and we've also got new songs we're playing in rehearsal, so there's a lot going on really. So, yeah, as you see, he says I was improvising instead of singing some of the higher notes. I was improvising some lower ones instead. So I could tell that I blew some, so I had to, some of the high notes I had to go falsetto and then change the melody of some things. It probably just sounded like I was playing around with the songs, but it was because my voice had gone. Anyway, fold back is the future. I need fold back, especially when I wear earplugs. Fold back's definitely needed. That's the best combination for me, is if I get good earplugs and then fold back. Ideal. Really good combination. Oh, ever thought of doing a cover of Kansas tune? I love a bit of Kansas. I mean, to be honest, that's another thing. I mean, I've got enough original material to even start thinking about cover songs. I mean, I entertained a Fleetwood Mac song last year or something, and then it just never, I was like, oh, I've got too much other stuff, I just focused. Yeah. Oh yeah, I've got used to blowing my voice out a little bit. So I get used to improvising. Yeah, and I think it's like, I want to just do a really good job of it. And I like, personally, I prefer to, if I'm going to put something out there in the world on Spotify and do a proper release, I want to make sure it's the best it can be. Like, I'd rather not release it than do a bad job of it. But at the same time, when it comes to, super fans and people who are really, really got a high interest in the music, I feel like those are the people you reward with those deep cuts and the demos, and because I find it interesting, like listening to demos, but the vast majority of people, your casual listeners, I just don't think they're particularly interested in and like, well, they'll probably describe it as worse versions, in some ways they are worse versions of the songs, but I'm all for, as you know, releasing demo stuff, but I think it's a great option for fan club people. I don't really know I hadn't even thought about it. I mean, the solo album, I would definitely release it under my own name, not Witch Hazel, but I don't, do I start a little fan club there, or probably just point people to the Witch Hazel one or something like that? I don't know. It's already set up. I don't know how I would work it. Probably I'd rather just give more value to the fan club and say, oh, there's all this solo stuff you can have as well. I'd probably just do that. I'm just thinking out loud right now. I haven't even made these decisions because I haven't released it. So. Oh, nice one. You're going to be there, front row in Texas. Yes. Can't wait for Texas. It's going to be good. I haven't actually, no. That sounds interesting. Sounds like something I'd be interested in as well. Yeah. Oh, man. I'm running on fumes. So tired from the weekend. That might have to be something I check out this week. Although I've only got a few days, 2 days, and then a teacher training day this week. So, but I can listen to a bit of music Tuesday and Wednesday. Oh yeah, a big thank you to all fan club people, because we're working out stuff for September, and a big part of what's happened in September is that I'm doing 1 day less teaching. So I'm going to be doing basically 2 days for the band in September. So it's really good progress. It isn't like fully fan club funded, but it's kind of very strongly fan club funded at the moment. So really massive thanks to all you fan club people. That's a big update actually. I'll probably do a post on the coffee page, so you all get that email, I'm guessing. But big thanks to fan club people, because you just make such a big difference. And basically, you know, that's hopefully double the progress. All this stuff that's like, what about this new merch, and what about all, I mean, to be honest, like a big thing these days is your social media presence. Like, the more you can do that, the more we can reach a wider audience with, especially things like Reels, your TikToks and your YouTube Shorts. That's all really good. If you're consistent with that stuff, it seems like bands are finding success that way. And that'll be really good if I can spend a little bit of time doing that, obviously, as well as writing new music and keeping the band going, because there's a lot to do. I haven't even done the band's accounts yet, which I really need to get done at some point. So I'll probably just get on with that in September, get that done, out of the way. They say, I'm sure, I don't know whether you've heard this phrase, but people say eat the frog for breakfast. I think in September, we're like, right, let's get the Excel spreadsheet out and get this out of the way. Yeah, it's good progress. It's all thanks to you fan club supporters and people, you know, like Sezzy and Keith and Vladimir and Jeremy. You deluxe people who send a lot of money every month, and that's very much appreciated. It really really helps. Like, it just ploughing everything forwards. I've said before, the whole thing's just about time. So it's really good. I'm really happy, obviously, because I get to spend more time doing the band, which I love, and writing music, and also just like one thing I've been finding recently, I've been trying to commit more time to practice, because I think there've been gigs over the past couple of years where I've just not been happy, been like, I really wish I could have put another practice in there, and it's hard just to get time to practice. Yeah, well, that's the plan, Sezzy. That's really that's what I'm driving. It'll be full-time Witch Hazel. Yeah, obviously. But in terms of work hours, yeah, that's the plan, is to be full-time. I think we'll get there, and I think the way I go about this band is probably quite not very conventional, but unconventional is the word I'm looking for. But there's progress. I think it's quite clear that, you know, the band's heading just in a steady upwards trend, and obviously really clear stuff like doing 2 days a week in September is really good. Yeah, please buy lots of merchandise. You can get there at witchhazel.com/merch, or if you, like yourself, a fan club member, you get those exclusive Spirit and Fire and Dry Bones t-shirts that are usually only available at shows. There's a link and a code to get half price off the store, because it's on for double the price at the moment. And we do need a proper tour. I think we'll get there. I'm hoping next year we can put a proper tour together, but yeah, it just seems like even just releasing this album, it's like, right, here we go, we've got this and that. It takes, I mean, the things we really like doing special stuff, like even it takes a surprising amount of time to get the acoustic set ready when you've already got like another set. Like, you've got to learn all the songs in different keys. So Fire's Control's like in B flat minor, and then acoustically it's in G flat minor with different chord shapes. And so you've got to learn quite a few songs in 2 different keys, and it takes a bit of practice. But we really wanted to play at the Muscle Rock Church, and we really wanted to play at Black City Records. So we've committed a bit of time this year to doing that. And also, I'm just like writing all the time, and we're jamming a few songs in rehearsals. That's going really well at the moment, some new material. But it usually takes a long time to get a Witch Hazel album out, you know. Oh, well, in my book, a lot of people think an album every 2 years is like good, is consistent, whereas I would prefer to do an album every 12 to 18 months if it was up to me. But, yeah, it requires time, and yeah. But it's all signs are pointing to all that becoming a reality, to be honest. It's really happy days. Every time we have the data as well, like, you know, Spotify is the biggest streaming platform, so loads of people use that data as a gauge particularly for your casual fans as well, but also your super fans, who you can see that data as well. Because it splits it into like casual listeners and like moderate listeners and then like super listeners, and we have quite a percentage of the super listeners, which is really nice. So it's like good quality data on Spotify. But like, for example, like the latest album has been streamed more times than the first album, Prelude, since it was released. So that's quite a step up. So it's like 306,000 streams on the latest album, which is, you know, and Prelude since 2016 has had 303,000 streams, you know. Yeah, we earn a little bit of money on Spotify, but obviously as it increases, I really think Spotify really need to sort themselves out and just go to the fan-centric model like SoundCloud and like Tidal. I just wish they would do that, but I think the big labels have got too much of a say in what's going on. Like with Spotify, you're what, $9.99 a month. Most of that goes to the biggest streamers, so most of the money goes to your Taylor Swift. So if you only listen to Witch Hazel and spend £10 on a premium membership, most of your money still goes to Taylor Swift's and your whatevers. And it doesn't seem right. Whereas with a fan-centric model, I really would support that so much more, because if you would, the super fans, those bands with super fans get more rewarded, but that means your more casual people that listen to playlists wouldn't get as much money. So that would be so good. But I'm not fully, as I've said before, I'm not fully against Spotify, but I think the model is a little bit unfair at the moment, to be honest. It's not. But the thing is, we're in a band where people buy our records still, so we don't rely on Spotify. It's just a little bonus for us in some ways, or almost a way of people discovering our music. So I kind of have more of a positive view on it because we have Bandcamp and because we have sales and we have a mailing list, and some people have to build their fan base from Spotify and try and rely on income, which is, you need a hideous amount of streams to make an income every day. Anyway, yeah, it would be so good if they just switched it, because so many people, like the amount of musicians that would really help, who are smaller or particularly independent musicians, and they're out there grafting and working hard and touring, but can't support themselves, particularly where people don't buy the physical format, modern bands, which is all, it'd just be, if there was a model like that, where they had like 20,000 monthly listeners, and they most of them just listen to their band, or 80% of their listening was their band, you would get so much more support financially. But, Spotify doesn't want to do that for some reason. Well, I know the reason, because the major labels have too much of a say, I think. We did hit the charts in America. It was something like the hard music charts. I can't remember what we charted, to be honest. Something like independent something, even though it's a label release, it's an independent label. Even Metal Blade's an independent label, so. Listening to the music on Bandcamp, you can listen 3 times and then you have to purchase it. So if you listen more than 3 times and you purchase it, that's worth tens of thousands of streams if you buy the album. So I'm happy for people just to do what's convenient for them, to be honest, really. Bandcamp's great. We actually make money on Bandcamp. Bandcamp's awesome. Yeah, it's harder, but I'm quite a determined person. People are making money in the new music industry, and it's tough. But I think, for every reason why it's difficult, and I've said this before, like bands used to have record labels, and there was only big labels to get their music out there. Now people can just do it independently. People release their own music and then, promote it themselves, outsource everything, and they can just build a little musical empire. It's great in lots of ways, but Yeah, but it is tough at the same time because there's then more music and then it's more competitive for streaming, and the streaming rate isn't particularly fair, as we mentioned before. We will be releasing a jewel case. I'm just currently waiting on our artwork guy, so there's a bit of a hold up there. As soon as I get that, we're going to get jewel case CD for fan club members, cassette tapes probably again for fan club members at least at first, and then probably going to do a new circle patch, maybe even a back patch, but we're just waiting on artwork people at the moment. Oh, amazing. You discovered us on YouTube. Well, it is the second biggest search engine in the world after Google. So I'm all for YouTube. I think YouTube's great. That's why I do live streams here. I think it's just it's a great, again, well, it's just a bit tricky. For example, in terms of ad revenue, it isn't a particularly great model. Again, it's probably a bit better than Spotify though. It's not difficult. Yeah, it's funny with Taylor Swift, isn't it? She's just a massive, she's just huge superstar, isn't she, really? I'm not really, I don't really have any particularly strong feelings either way about Taylor Swift. I like some of the songs, but yeah, it's funny. Also subjective though, because I think Paramore are alright. There's some great songs. I was a teenager, I listened to a bit of Paramore. Oh, a jewel case is just those plastic CD cases, because we released our latest album on what's called Digipack, which is cardboard. So it's a little bit better in the environment. It's much cheaper to post Digipack CDs. And some people prefer them, lots of people don't prefer them. It's just a bit of a contentious issue. Jewel case versus Digipack. A lot of people don't like Digipack, but they're so much cheaper to post out than jewel case, and they don't break. Yeah, easier. I think they're cheaper to produce, cheaper to post. They just make a lot of sense, really, for when you're producing albums. But as Cezzy mentioned, a lot of people don't like Digipack. A lot of people like jewel case. I prefer jewel case if I had the option, but I'm not like a hater of Digipack particularly. So there you go. Oh, if it's still not, is there not any Pentecost cassette tapes available? If you type, I think there's Electro Records. I don't know whether they run out. Are they out of stock? If you type in Witch Hazel Pentecost cassette, Electro, EKTRO Records, they might have some left. I'm not sure. Anyway, folks, I'm probably gonna have to, go home at some point. I'm guessing that means that we're past 9. I've got my last couple of days teaching music. Oh yeah, and this is, so as I mentioned before, a little break from live streams, although I've not been particularly consistent anyway with the busyness. But it's all good stuff. I'm going to be focusing on rehearsing and writing. And yeah, we've got a couple of gigs in August as well, some important gigs, particularly Bloodstock. And I'll most likely be back live streaming in September, where I'll be doing 2 days for the band. I can catch up with all the stuff I haven't managed to get done this year, and including the band accounts and boring stuff like that. So thanks a lot for coming, folks. Feel free to send any tips and the link, or if you haven't checked out the fan club, please consider becoming a fan club member. Thanks very much. And and with a bit of, as well as rehearsing, a bit of relaxing and family time as well over the summer. And thanks a lot, folks. Thanks again. Thanks for sticking around to the end if you've been here the whole time. Me rabbiting on. And see you at a show sometime soon, or see you on the socials. You know where we are, basically everywhere. even TikTok and Threads, those newfangled things. So come follow us and join us and all that business. And if you like streaming, follow us on Spotify and all that business. Thanks for your ongoing support. See you in Germany, says he. See anyone at Bloodstock if you're there. Thanks very much. Join the fan club. Cheers.